There are moments in history that determine the character of human affairs for years and decades to follow. We are in such a moment. In such times, what people do, what individuals do and don't do, is decisive and decides the outcome. Deciding not to do something, deciding not to stand up against the terrible injustices and crimes against humanity that are being openly committed by the Bush regime is a choice. Tyrants cannot accomplish their monstrous deeds without the compliance and cooperations of the people. Choosing not to act and not to speak out against grave injustice is a moral failure, and yes, I will say it, a crime of collusion. How will future generations think of us? Will it be in shame and amazement? Will they ask, how could we have stood by and allowed our government to torture people? How could we have stood by and allowed the right to due process, habeas corpus, to confronting your accusers in court, to subordination of people to the law rather than the law of the dictator to stand? Or will future generations point with pride to the courage, the determination, the farsightedness, and the heroism of the people who stood up and said no to tyranny and torture, who stood up in the face of lies, intimidation, and violence, and said, I can do no other. My conscience will not allow it. The White House stands naked to the world now, caught red-handed, carrying out torture and destroying the damning video evidence of their crimes. Even while Bush continues to claim disingenuously that we do not torture, and the new Attorney General refuses to call waterboarding torture, a crime that in World War II the American military prosecuted soldiers for doing as torture. They are busy acclimating people to their outrageous claims that torture is somehow justified. We have now killed, because of our invasion, more than 1 million Iraqis and thousands of American soldiers. And need it be said, Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. World Can't Wait calls upon every American of conscience to resist and speak out, to wear and display orange daily, in moral witness to the moral monsters carrying out their crimes in our names. The outcome of this moment in history is being decided as we speak. The American people have a choice to remain mute in the face of all of this, or declare ourselves as fighters for a radically different future. In our everyday life, wearing and displaying orange, and on January 11th, joining the call of ACLU and Amnesty International and others to wear orange to shut down Guantanamo, every one of us can play a major role in transforming the nature of everyday life as moral beacons of a different order. World Can't Wait issues its call to everyone of conscience, but especially to the youth, to soldiers, to the religious community, and to the moral, cultural, and intellectual leaders of our society. To youth we say, take up orange and transform your schools. Break out and make your generation famous for generations to come as the one that stood up and drove the Bush regime from office. Now. To soldiers and to the religious community and other moral and intellectual leaders, we call upon you to join and step up the fight, to do what must be done. If not us, who? And if not now, when? Thank you.